Jeez, this thing is so clean. I love it. Look at this scene. Oh, buddy. Nice. 2.2 liter.
Yep.
SR22. So cool. Some R33 bits on here, including the brakes. Love it.
It's funny because we were having a good look at it before, and it's actually got like Mishimoto radiator, which is States.
Yeah.
GTX turbo, which is basically new to Japan. Like Garrett's starting to really get some momentum, but that sort of technology has been really popular overseas for the last 3 to 5 years. The same with, you know, little things like this. It's got some radium bits and pieces.
Yeah.
It's got a radium fuel.
It's come full circle.
It's
been like that.
The development is starting to really be overseas powered, I suppose you could say. So a lot of the new generation sort of development and tuning of these cars is coming out into Japan now. So whereas, you know, 10 years ago it was everything's done in Japan and then going overseas.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. The yard, so everything in here, like this is sold 1, 2, 3, 4. A good like portion of cars are sold. Some cars will come in on customers' request for like vehicle registration, shuck-in processes and stuff like that, or we might have a car in after being sold a month ago because the customer wanted to do some different changes to the car. But generally, this is our sales stock yard. So everything that goes up onto our website is generally stored here unless it's something like a 5,000 kilometer V-Spec 2 Nero or something like that. And we've got the warehouse, which I'll show you later, but we've got a warehouse, which is the Nero warehouse.
So this is the sign. This is the famous sign.
Yeah.
That I've seen many times before in my buddy Dino's content. But we're actually here, Global Auto in Osaka. What's the actual city?
We're in Sakai.
Okay.
Sakai.
So then, Brandon, you actually reached out to me on Instagram.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, come check out the place. And this is actually a place that I've wanted to come to for a while. And Dino's been telling me about it, but I've never had a chance to come down here to Osaka area with my own car. So this trip came down, shot a bunch of content, but this is such a crazy scene. It's like a dealership. It is a dealership.
Yeah, we're purely, essentially a GTR dealership. We might get like a handful of things in, like we've got the Evo. That was a trade-in for someone buying a GTR. The 180, we just thought it'd be interesting to put onto the stock. So we're doing a little bit of bits and pieces here.
Some Toyotas will sneak in.
This is a Run Juice demo car. So things that are a little bit outside of our usual cars are either demo cars from shops that we work with, or we get people contacting us saying, hey, I've got this car, are you interested in buying it? So
can we just take a look at this scene here?
Yeah.
I need to appreciate this right now. This is legitimately my first time coming here, and I just literally parked my car and then I started freaking out because of what this is. Global Auto, all of the Skylines, so many R32s, 33s and 34s. How do you guys not have do you guys have like a watchtower here with a sniper at night?
Right. We've got these bad boys here, which are like motion sensors, and then we close the netting at night, and then we've also got cameras set up in places as well. So
these aren't cheap cars anymore.
No.
I mean, these are very, very expensive cars. And I remember, I think the last time Dino visited you guys, he mentioned some of the prices for some of these cars, and we already thought they were too much. You know, now it's through the roof even more. How many GTRs do you guys actually have in stock? 46 or something like that. So there's probably in stock is probably about 6 or 7 for sale. And then we've got storage of cars which we've acquired over the years, or the boss has acquired over the years for whatever reason. If a good deal pops up, he'll purchase it.
put it into storage. Yeah, things like that. Like if a good car comes up for sale, then he'll bring something out to sell to purchase that car. So it's a bit of a circle motion work.
And while it is such a grand scene and the name itself is synonymous with really amazing GTRs, you guys are it's actually a small team.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is something that's really surprising. How many people actually work here?
Myself, the other sales manager, 2 mechanics and a truck driver, plus the boss is 6 on a daily basis. 6 guys. Yeah.
That's incredible what you guys are able to accomplish with so few people.
I think probably one thing that's a little bit misunderstood about Global, we don't really do tuning. We'll do outsourcing to people that we work with, such as like Garage Ito, or we'll take a car up to Omori factory on request for the customer. So what we do within our facilities is purely just light maintenance for sale, and then after sale stuff, so registration on the streets for customers. So.
How hard is it to take that last Bayside Blue out from the lot?
If you were here this morning, we actually pulled this car out, or we swapped this car. The whole center had to be removed. So we'll do about half on the street, and then we'll strategically place other cars to then start maneuvering around, and one will come out, one will go in, and then it will move back out again. It's pretty stressful.
What a fun gig. So then it's funny, if somebody unknowingly turned this corner here, they would just run into this GTR traffic jam without even realizing what's going on.
Yeah. So we got to time it like perfectly, because if we do it about 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, there's a couple of warehouses down the road where trucks will come down and they just can't get down. So we've got to try and use the space that we don't really have but do have without the police coming on us. Yeah, it's a task. It only takes about 30, 40 minutes though, to be honest with you. So we'll start all the cars and then shift, put what we want where, and then keep going. So
how is it that you're able to even keep them clean? Because last night was like this crazy storm.
I'd actually say they're pretty dirty at the moment.
Really? They look so clean. They look amazing.
Once every week, once a fortnight, depending on the truck driver's schedule. If he's got downtime, he'll do a run through the yard and do some cleaning. Same with myself if I've got a quiet afternoon because of July 4th yesterday. Pop out and do some cleaning and stuff like that. So it all depends really. It's hard in summer with a lot of rain. They actually get a lot of dust on them, but other than that, yeah.
So let's talk about some of the highlights here.
Probably something that not everybody knows about is the 4-door 33.
Yes, there's so few of these. I love this so much.
We've got this one, and then on the lift as well, we've got another one. So that's 2. We did have a third one, which is, I think it's kind of ironic because there's only such, I think it's 244 made, or like really low. Yeah.
I can't recall. Might be 400 something.
It's a number. It's got 4s in it. I know the numbers got 4s in it.
It's very low.
Yeah.
The first time I ever saw this was actually at the Zama collection.
Ah, true.
Yeah, but since then I've seen 2 other ones, and then this is the 3rd one that I've seen. So that is so cool that you guys actually have one of these.
So we've got this one which has got a Modi reset in it, just sort of like a sports package tuning upgrade. And then we've got another one that's under covers, which has got basically
sports resetting. That's officially what it's called.
It's a Nismo remap on the ECU.
That is so cool.
So
is this one already sold, or?
No, this is still for sale.
How much is this one?
Mid-8s, I think. Mid-8s to low 9s. So they are creeping up in price. They were on the news actually a couple of months ago in Japan, because one got sold for an incredible amount, and then it come up on the news, and then everybody wanted them again. So it's quite interesting to see how like Yahoo News and overseas sales gets brought up in Japan, and then it does fluctuate prices a little bit here.
Yeah, so that equals to about 60 to 65,000 US dollars.
Yep. So,
and that's in Japan. If you buy it in Japan,
correct.
That's not including actually importing it to
anywhere. So say the States, your 2.5% import tax, $5,000, $3,000 to $5,000 depending on the month for your shipping fees and stuff like that. So
I love this though, Autech version. How cool is that? What a cool car.
So we've got the other one which has got a crazy low number of kilometers on it. It's like
Uh-huh.
14 or 12,000 kilometers.
So that one is in the six figures then, huh?
Possibly, yeah. It'd be over the 10 million mark, yeah.
What about all these 34s here? What's
So
like
this one
the cream of the
is-
crop top pick for you guys right now?
This is the cream of the crop. This is an S1. Omori requested S1 specification, so this is on its way to Australia.
Oh, really? This is already sold.
This is sold.
Yes. Yo. No way.
So full S1 package engine, S1 suspension, S1 ECU, it's got it. So a little bit sad about this one because this is probably one of my favorite cars.
It's so good.
It's beautiful.
This is like the perfect version of my car.
It kind of ticks all the boxes in regards to like Bayside Blue and everything like that. So
Yeah.
really, really nice car. Just sort of waiting for a customer to give me the okay to put it in a container and off it goes to Australia.
Is it pretty low kilometers on this?
Mid-range, I think it was 70,000 kilometers. So it's a car that's been appreciated, I guess you could say. Some of the cars that we get in with a higher amount of kilometers, they've been driven as a GTR with, you know, race seats and 2.8 liters and stuff like that. This
So
one's
good.
been, I think this has just purely been enjoyed as what it is. So
Are you able to say about how much these go for? This would go for?
you're looking mid 30s to 40s. If it was an Omori purchased and built S1, you'd be over the 50 million mark.
Over 5. Wow.
So they're getting harder and harder to get, and rarer and rarer, obviously.
Right.
But
that is an expensive car. Holy wow.
so I'm really eager to get it onto the boat so that the customers got it.
Yeah. No kidding. That is so cool. I love that. So
Do you want to keep cruising?
now that we like started, we got to the top.
Going to the top. I've got a Mines 2.8 liter actually there.
Oh, really? Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, so for those of people who are wondering, so 500,000 yen equals to, with today's exchange rate, I guess $400,000 around? I don't know, that's just doing the quick math. Last I checked, actually I checked just a couple days ago, it's 145 yen per dollar. And I think that's probably almost the worst it's been for a long time. But this is super cool because this is a Mines. Is this a Mines built car?
Yeah, so it's got a Mines built 2.8 liter in it.
Oh, this is so cool. I love this. Seeing all these cars gives me inspiration for my car.
I think like the more you dive into what we've got here, some of the cars have more of a story in the sense of they're either really, really low kilometers, completely bone stock cars, or they are flared in the sense of 2.8 liters, big single turbos, twin setups. This is GT block, B-cam. So
This is a pretty early car, 4,000.
yeah, so this is a 99.
99. So is this one sold already?
Nope, still for sale.
Oh, this would be perfect for a US buyer then.
Yep.
Like pretty early next year or first
This
quarter
one's
next year.
December. This one might be February or June, something around there. Yeah. So
Super cool. I love it. Looks great.
we got heaps of room as well, so we can
What
open the door.
what an amazing condition. Love the black seats too.
Yeah, the corky interior.
Oh, amazing. So cool. Really, really does give me so much inspiration for my car.
So depending on some of the cars that we get in, like we had a late model 34 a couple of months ago that had early model interior on it. So we then went and changed it all back to the late model interior, simply because you know these cars sometimes change owners a few times. Somebody might have had a set of race seats in there and then put Zenki seats in it. So then when we get the car, we want to make sure that it sits to its proper specification. This one we hummed and hawed about. Do we put it back to Zenki or not? But we decided just to leave it as, because it's a really nice car with the fact of like all the little mines pieces and stuff like that.
It looks great.
So,
I love the mines, the green carbon here.
Yeah.
It's super cool. So then how long have you been with the company?
I've been here since January.
So you're pretty
4th or 5th.
new then.
Yes and no. I'm to a certain degree an old customer. So my previous employment, we used to purchase cars from here for our customers overseas. Facebook did its wonders, got an opportunity to come work here and just went on a limb and come in and had a chat to the boss, and here I am. So
Yeah, and because one of the things that you're working on, you're actually exporting more cars overseas.
Yeah.
Whereas before, this was primarily for
domestic.
domestic Japanese market.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, me stepping in isn't purely just a push the overseas. I work a lot with export companies. A lot of export companies in Japan are owned by foreigners. So they obviously want to try and purchase cars from global, but they don't have that ability to liaise 100%. So I work with them, getting all the information that they need for their customers. Previous employment, I've had export experience, so going through to the point of shipping. So, you know, me jumping here was an opportunity to change what I was doing as a job as well, but at the same time keep in the car industry. So
Super cool. Can we take a look at the other
I'll just
areas
close
that
this
you guys
one up.
have? What do we have here?
So this is a 2.8 litre TO4Z that a customs purchased from us, and then we're doing the HKS VCAM setup on it at the moment, so this will go out and get tuned again. This was on our stock 2 months ago, and customer come in and boom, I'll take it. So it's been refinished in R35 GTR gunmetal. So it's actually called KAD,
Wow.
which is the color which Omori factory uses for their CRS builds.
Oh my goodness, it looks so good.
So that it's pretty hard to really pick it, but like if we put it right next to the standard gunmetal, it's a little bit, some people say it's a little bit bluer, some people say it's got a little bit more sparkle in it.
Oh, what a cool car. So then this is already sold too then?
Yep. So this is a domestic sale. The guy that bought this actually sold a car to us, and after 2 weeks gave us a call and was like, I missed my Skyline, I want another one back. So he come in and purchased this one. So
then what's your thought on that? A lot of people like to complain, and we will have a lot of complaints on this video about
Pricing
the fact that
and-
all these cars are leaving Japan.
yeah,
What is your thought on that? My thought, I'll just tell you my thought real quick.
yeah, this is gonna be good.
My thought is that the Japanese domestic market and Japanese enthusiasts have been able to enjoy these cars for so long.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're selling and they're for sale and they're leaving is because they've had their fun with it.
Yeah,
You know, they've had their fun with these cars.
yeah,
And
totally agree.
for somebody like myself, I've never been able to enjoy it.
I think
you know?
the interesting thing for me actually is with working with everybody overseas is understanding the age bracket which are buying these cars. You're looking at late 20s, very rarely, but majority are, you know, mid 30s to early 40s that are buying these sorts of cars overseas. The cars that are being sold here are probably from 50 to 60-year-old guys. Unfortunately, Japan is obviously, with the currency at the moment, it's not the greatest economy at the moment. So people my sort of age, in the mid-30s and lower, we can't afford these cars on a Japanese salary. So it does come in hand that they're naturally going overseas. It's not like everybody is deliberately selling them overseas, it's just the natural flow of it. But yeah, the age bracket, these would have been bought by mid-30-year-old Japanese guys 20 years ago and enjoyed at that time because they had the salary.
I would have bought these brand new if I saw them
100%.
in the showroom floor, you know, and they
100%.
were pretty affordable compared to what they are now.
Yeah, so it's the same with like the highly modified ones. A lot of people overseas don't particularly want the highly modified ones. They want a standard one, either to have full faith in the car or to do their own thing to the car. So they've gone through the ownership process in Japan, and to a certain degree, they're going to go through now an ownership process overseas of modifications and updating and being reborn to a certain degree as a car. So it's pretty interesting actually. Like I'm in a good spot because I can talk to customers in Japan and I can also talk to customers overseas and sort of really understand what these cars are doing and how I can find the right cars for the right people and things like that. So it's not a matter of like, yeah, you want a 34 GTR, off you go, here's one. It's more of a, what do you want out of the car? How do you want to achieve it with your budget and things like that? So it's a little bit time consuming, but.
That is super cool.
I love this. Look at that.
What?
Look at that. That is so cool.
I love that.
I love nerding out on little things like
Yes, I love the little HKS. So then what is this area here? This is like...
So that's preparation area. So these two cars are just storage because we don't have room for them in our warehouses. 33 N1 and then the other four-door Ortec.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's actually on our site for sale.
Okay, so how much is that one going for?
Up in the 30s. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's only low kilometers as well, so beautiful car. And that's why
awesome.
that's there, is because it's not really a car that'll sell like that. It's basically when the right customer comes, the right customer will
Right,
come.
if you're a true collector and you know what the N1 is and what it stands for, then you would appreciate it. And then this is...
Another Ortec.
No, this is the Ortec you were talking about.
Yeah, it's 12 or 14,000 kilometers. It's even got the rear plastic covers on the seats and everything like that, so...
Basically a brand new vehicle.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
you guys actually have a bunch of R35s too, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty surprising. We don't have many at the moment. Yeah, we have a fair balance of 35s. The 35s that we're getting in now are basically people buying the brand new 35s, or they're just sort of like, I'm done with sports cars, I'm done. So like I sort of said before, the progression of ownership of these cars, some of the 32s, the next car that the owner would buy is a 35, or they've driven a 33 for 10 years and now I want a 35 for another 10 years. So process.
What's going on with this thing?
This will be listed up for sale pretty soon.
And you guys are just going through it in and out?
Yeah, so this is pretty much engine bay is all finished. So we've got a staff member that will pretty much pull it down to a bare minimum. We don't pull turbos off, but pretty much all piping comes off. Sometimes we'll pull cases off. This one's an auto select built engine, so we're going to leave these casings, but you know, sometimes cars have wear, so we put nice clean cases on them, and we've got a rotation process there, all new piping, we check all the fluids and things like that.
So then, what about the other people that work here? You're obviously a car nerd like myself.
Yeah.
What about everyone else here? Are they into cars?
Generally car nerds. This 35 GDR here is actually our manager's old car. That is his second 35, and he's just traded in on a 34. So he's really, really into it, and he does a little bit of track work in that car, or did. Nishiki, the guy that does all this, he's my sort of age, grown up playing around with cars and doing things in the mountains and stuff like that. Yeah, we're all a team of car people. So
you kind of have to love these things, right? To
not too much, otherwise you don't want to sell them.
I guess that's a good point.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if you're buying a car overseas, you want to feel like you're getting it from someone you know that's in that industry because they like being in that industry. So it's, yeah. I mean, I've always been in the automotive industry, so I love cars in and out. So that's why I live here as well. But yeah.
Because of the scene right here, and it's just a sea of incredible Japanese cars. What is it like for you guys on a daily basis? Do you have people just walking off the streets and just freaking out on like what
Americans
this is?
crack me up. I'm sorry, but Americans crack me up because they've obviously never seen these cars before. They're not in America in numbers like here. So they'll get to the vending machine and they'll like stop and sort of hesitate about coming in, and it's like, yeah, come in, have a poke around, and they're speechless. They don't know what to say. So
I love that. I mean, and also, what about like Japanese people? Do Japanese people come in too?
Yeah, 100%. Younger guys, actually. We've got 2 schoolboys, like sort of high school kids that live around the corner. They'll come weekly, and because I mean, obviously we change cars a fair amount, so they'll come in with that. They'll be like, oh wow, this is a new car, and they'll take photos and and things like that. So
It's cool because while, you know, a lot of these are leaving the country and the generation has enjoyed them, there's so many new people in
Yeah.
the car culture community that actually haven't been able to experience them. And I think it's cool, like even me driving my car around, I get people pointing, taking pictures all the time around, and I feel like this is the land of the GTRs, you know?
Yeah.
And you came from the adopted land of the
second land of GTRs,
exactly.
the second land
You
of
came from
GTRs.
Australia, which is, you know, they've really taken it on their own to basically take the platform and just go run with it. You know, the quickest, as we know, the quickest GTRs in the world are in Australia. So it's just kind of cool to see the different cultures, how they enjoyed them and how they like them.
I always like when we do car shows or we're traveling up to Fuji for car shows and we stop at a parking area for food, we get a lot of old people coming up to us and saying like, I used to have this car, or, you know, like young kids will go, oh, like my grandfather used to drive a car, and it's like, oh, I bet you wish he still had it now. But, you know, like the stories behind all of these cars are really, really interesting. So, and I think at one point, a lot of people in Japan had some sort of sports car to a certain degree. So
yeah. Can we talk about this and how much I love this right now? This is so cool.
Yeah, obviously being a bit of a Sylvia nut myself.
Are you kidding me?
What?
Uncracked dash?
Yeah.
Look at the back seat. It looks like nobody's ever sat in that. Is this open?
I'll grab. Oh, well, yeah, it is.
Can I take a look at this?
Yeah.
This is so cool. So it does look like the driver's seat has been changed.
So this was an original silver car, and the previous owner changed it to white. It's a genuine Type X.
This is bad for me to see these cars, man. This is really bad.
It's heartbreaking for me because when I first moved here, I bought a 180 Type X for 150,000 yen. And that was my drift cut for 5 years.
That's free. You bought one for
150,000 yen.
Basically, somebody paid you.
Get rid of it. So
can we take a look at the engine bay?
Ah, yeah, sure.
This is so cool.
So this
I had a white 240 in the US. So, you know, these with this front end, not the Type X front end, but
well, this is aftermarket era. So
okay.
I'm in two sides as to whether, you know, working with the boss and going full 180 like Corky Aero on it, or just leaving it as is and hitting an affordable sales price.
Right.
Because the genuine Type X's, they're creeping up in prices now, and obviously being a GTR dealer, we want to try and keep the circulation going. So
yeah, just to get rid of this
it's a balance. Well, it's not like we got to get rid of it, but it's a balance of, you know, what cars we do hold on for a certain amount of time compared to what cars we do, you know, progressively sell. So
about how much would this go for then?
I'm thinking it'll probably be about mid 2 million yen. So that's USD, just under $20,000. So
that's really good.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be unreasonable.
Yeah, that's really good.
You can't be unreasonable.
I mean, you could buy 5, 6, 7 of these just for our R34.
I know, right?
Maybe more.
So
this 35 just sits right. What a good looking car. Oh my goodness. So nice choice of wheels, huge brakes. Love it. This is it right here, Japanese supercar.
It's funny because like this is our manager's old car, and the 35s are at that point which the 34s were at probably 10 years ago, where they started to peak in price and they're falling off a little bit. So being a little bit nervous about putting kilometers on it can dramatically change the price of it. At the same time, probably now is the right time to buy a 34. So the manager, we had a 34 in, he liked it and went, yeah, I want it. So traded in, moving on to the 34. So I think it was his second 35 and he'd never had a 34 as well. So it was like, well, I want to live it.
I mean, it's not even the same animal at all, you know?
No.
The 34 for me, it's not about the performance at all. It's about the look, the driving feel, the aura that's around it, you know? If you want to go fast, you definitely just drive this.
The right 2.8 liter R34 will do its work, but
That's a lot of money into that car then. So then we have there's another facility that we should check out too?
yeah,
Okay.
100%.
All right.
We can
So
go
we'll
for
check
cruise.
that out. Okay, I'm already blown away. So Brandon just opened this door to this nondescript location.
On?
I'm about to cry.
Yeah.
What
Do
the heck?
you know what I mean?
These are all...
This is what 20 years of buying and selling GTRs looks like, essentially. All of the parts in here aren't for sale, or some stuff will get put up for sale depending on what it is. But like, we're getting cars in all sorts of condition. I mean, they're 20, 25-year-old cars. I mean, for the 34s, 33, 32s, they're going over 30 years. So when we get cars in, things like cracked tail lamps and cracked, like washer bottles and stuff like that, we have stock here so that we can make sure that the cars that we are selling are in top condition. Yeah, like I said before, with the Zinky and Corky seats with interiors, like there's a handful of things like that floating around. So
How do you know where anything is?
it's organized chaos. Organized chaos. Pretty much it goes 32, 33, 34, and then it's like interior, exterior, and things like that. This warehouse is kind of all organized by Nishki, the guy that does all of the prep for the cars. So when he's working on the cars and he discovers something, he comes down here and he's back in 5 minutes because he knows where it is. Like, he's putting the stuff in and pulling it out. So
Is he the one that's also replenishing this stock?
yeah. So depending on what's being removed, we do get stuff repaired. So engine covers, for example, like if we get a car in that's got scratched up engine covers and stuff like that, we'll send them out and we'll get them freshly powder coated or redone in candy red if it's a Zenki and stuff like that. And then they get stored. So we've got a system where we've got repaired parts or good quality parts which we can put onto cars and make sure that the cars are in good condition. And then depending on the condition, they'll come back in or go out to fix and then come back in. So
There is a method to this madness.
yeah. I would have loved to have been here when Dino came because I can imagine, like, Dino is a massive GTR, like, nut.
Yeah.
He would have, like, hit the floor. And I think the time that he was here, this was Global's only storage warehouse at that time. So
You mean you have more stuff?
yeah, we've got we've got 2 more storage facilities. So
Just for parts or for cars?
both.
That smile.
Yeah,
What a
yeah.
sinister smile.
You'll see.
So this is... God
This-
knows how many millions of dollars.
This
they're
is NERS.
looking at. All of them. Every one of them.
Yes, NERS. The back 2 are V-Specs. One on the right, the silver one, is 14,000 kilometers. And then, yeah, this one may be a late model standard base. This is actually Global's demo car for our diffusers.
Okay.
But ignore the demo car or the diffusers.
Whoa.
The boss has kind of thrown the Nismo catalog at it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these get people always wanting to try and get the carbon intakes and stuff like that now, and unfortunately they're discontinued, but
That's crazy.
beautiful car.
Yeah.
This has actually got pretty high kilometers and it's been refreshed, so depending on the events, if it's close enough, someone will drive it, depending on what we're taking to the event.
Oh my goodness.
So,
It's so good.
so yeah, that's this one. This is a Jing's built car, 2.8 litre. That's a nice engine bay.
That is an understatement.
This one,
Which one's the one that has 14,000?
this is 14,000.
So then why are all these here? Are these here because they're the most expensive vehicles?
Yeah, yeah.
So are all these listed or sold?
Not all for sale. So these 2 aren't for sale. This one's not for sale. The 2 demo cars aren't for sale. This one's not. This one's on our site. The one at the front, customers purchased. And And the middle one as well is for sale.
So why is it that some of these are not for sale? Are you just waiting for them to go up in price more?
Not intentionally. I think this car's been with Global for like 5 or 6 years. It comes down to what's available for us to purchase and sell and what stock we have at the moment. So if you go on, like last month, we listed 399s all at once, and we've sold 2 of them. We've still got 1, but it was too many options for people to buy a car. If they get in touch with me, they're like, I want to buy a 99. So, okay, well, do you want a silver one? Do you want a blue one? Do you want a green one? Do you want to, you start going through it, and it's really hard to get that right car for the customer. So long story short, essentially, we hold some cars because we don't know what we might get in the future.
Got it.
And then, 14,000 kilometers on a 34 GDR, how often does that come up? So it's one of those things where it's like, hold on to it purely because the boss is a bit of a 34 GDR nut as well.
So then this one's listed on the website right now.
Yep.
How much is this one listed for?
This is mid to late 20 million yen. So a little bit up there. A little bit up there. It's difficult though because the only market that this is appealing to is Japan and UK, England, New Zealand, Australia.
Wow. Oh, because it's
late model. So
got it. So it's a 2002.
Yep.
Got it.
So what I'm
wait.
kind of predicting, right, is majority of the 99 V-specs and stuff that are going to go into the States, they'll probably stay with their owners for about 12 months. And then those guys probably will then resell them and then start going to V2s or NERs. Once they start getting close, that's kind of my prediction of what's going to happen with the way in which the cars have been built based on their models and what's going to be entering the country. So
the crazy thing to me is like the full potential of something like this hasn't even been unlocked because of the fact that the entirety of the US is unable to legally drive this. So once we get closer,
they'll probably then go into, the last year, 2 years of the export trade in Japan has been, if you can store cars for your customers, you're going to be able to get a customer base. And that's going to start dying off with these 99s.
Yeah.
But I think come late next year, once majority of the 99s have entered the country because they're legal, people will start changing hands and people will then probably go, look, I'm going to put another car in storage in Japan because I can get myself a V2 NER or something like that. So,
do you guys have a lot waiting to export right now?
I think I've got 5 or 6 cars waiting to go at the moment. So that's me working since the start of the year, essentially.
Right.
I've pushed the boss to say, hey, we really need to get a storage facility.
Yeah.
Because obviously we're full.
Yeah.
So we've gone and got another storage shed about the same size, which has got a handful of Japanese customers' cars in there, and then also, the cars which are waiting to go overseas.
This is incredible, though. So many seats. I don't know how you get something out of the back.
Yeah.
Well, so those are all hoods?
Yep. So, and like if you kind of have a look on the side of them, they'll have what model car they're from. So there are a fair few V2 NER bonnets up there, and then there'll be a fair few V-spec stuff as well, as with like the fenders up the top there, bumpers as well. You probably know yourself when you buy a car from Japan, it might come with a Z-Tune bumper, but it doesn't have the fenders.
Yeah.
Or it might come with the Z-Tune fenders and a standard front bumper. So we, depending on the car, we'll match it and make it all sort of not period correct, but model correct. So, some of the cars, we'll list and get it all paint matched and corrected and stuff like that, so that it's, proper Z-Tune front end or V2 NERs and stuff like that. So I can't remember which one this one is. This is mine's as well. This is N1 block. N1 blocks 24U. So the like Nismo GT, and then it's had Midori Seibi, Midori Seibi built head on it. Now this one actually isn't a V2 NER, it's a V2. You know the caution plate rule?
No, what's that?
So like V2 NERs always come out with the Jade Engine covers, yeah. But it was pretty popular for people to paint them if they're doing an engine. But if they've got a gold badge, that's how to tell that they are a V-tuner legitimately.
Got it.
So
Versus blue.
Yeah.
Got it.
Blue is the Zenkis, and then the silvers is the Corkis or the late models. So. Hot in here.
Yeah, it's very warm. Wow.
Um,
I don't know how you're going to top this. This is crazy. I am so blown away. Can I just walk in here real quick and just look at this?
The 35 room, we call it.
This is all our 35 parts?
Yep. So,
You are definitely out of space.
yeah. Everything in here is used parts.
Oh, so no new parts here. New parts is somewhere else.
That's at the next warehouse.
Wow.
So,
Unbelievable.
it's, yeah.
What's the owner's name?
Yasu-san. Yasu.
Yasu-san.
He's a very, very shy person. He likes to sort of do this. He doesn't like doing camera stuff, eh?
Well, it's a good thing you're here then. Why? Did he realize this was going to happen? Like, did he predict that this was going to happen?
No, it's funny because, like, when I started here, I tried to sort of learn as much about the business as possible because I'm going to face these sorts of questions, you know, through selling cars. He actually originally was going to do Ferraris and Porsches 20 years ago, and he didn't know much about them himself personally because he drove 34 GTRs. So he decided to do 34 GTRs at the start, and obviously now it's a good business to be in, but he stuck to what he knew so that he had the confidence to be able to sell his customers the right cars and you know, deliver the right car, essentially. So that's essentially what he said to me is, you know, I think he said early 30s he started Global. So, wish I did that.
So this is
all personal collection.
This is the second one I've ever seen.
Other than Omori's at the, or did you see the Sydney one?
No, I didn't see the Sydney one. I saw Mr. Moroi, the Vantech collection.
Right, yep.
Yeah, I've seen his, but his was kind of like taken apart because he was actually shipping it to Omari.
True.
But these are the two, this is it right here. The two most rare.
The crazy thing about it is the boss used to have what was the HKS built R32? 0R?
Oh, yeah.
He had one.
He sold it.
Yeah. Before he got these two cars, he had one of them, and about 6 months later, I think he said he got the 400R, and then he instantly regretted it.
And he got these a while back then, huh? Obviously, because
I can't remember what dates he told me. He's had them a fair while. So,
Yo. Does he drive this?
not other than onto the truck for events. So it was really funny. The last event that we did at Fuji, everybody was trying to pack up together, and it was absolute chaos with trucks coming into Fuji and stuff like that. So we all ended up jumping into these two and driving down to the truck, and everybody was just sort of like looking at us as if to say, are they driving them home? Because they've got registration, so
Yeah.
Technically you could, but the 400R's got 1,800 kilometers or something on it. So you don't want to put kilometers on it.
Is this one of the lowest mile ones, or is this one of the lowest kilometer ones?
I would probably say so, yeah.
So it is pretty public knowledge that he has one of these.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Because, I mean, we use them on display.
Right.
So they're a massive sort of, you know,
It's like a draw.
commodity to
Yeah.
the company.
Wow.
So every now and then there'll be an influx of 2 or 3 people sort of saying, how much is it? How much is it? And it's one of the pride and joys.
Right.
So, meanwhile, is it open?
It's open.
That's not supposed to happen.
It's like a brand new vehicle.
I can't remember. I think it's only got about 20 or 30,000 kilometers.
And that's not because these were refreshed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So do they start at 0 again?
Yeah,
must
because
have.
they put a new odometer and stuff. in it.
Right.
I can't speak. How has he planned this out here?
What? I can't believe it. That is actually unbelievable.
Don't don't hold me to my numbers, but I have a feeling it was like 30 was supposed to be produced and 22 actually got made of the 400s. And it's a similar situation with these. Omori bought X amount of vehicles, produced X amount because they had them ordered, and they stopped because they didn't meet what they thought they were going to meet.
Yeah, but now if they made it
Yeah.
now, I mean, you couldn't.
It's one of those things where it's like everybody wants what they can't have. So if it was available, do you think it would still be as desirable?
I mean, I could see people wanting them.
Yeah. So the kind of cool thing about these is they're built in 2005, and this is number 2 ever made.
Who has number 1?
Good question.
So one of these hasn't changed hands in so long that nobody knows how much this is potentially worth, you know?
Yeah.
Who
exactly.
knows? There's just no way to know
Yeah.
until one changes hands. Everything can be reproduced to make it look like a Z-Tune, except for this.
Except for the carbon, the over pieces.
Yeah, there's no way you can reproduce this.
I mean, you watch. I probably wouldn't be surprised if somebody that knows a guy that can produce carbon fiber may end up doing them.
Right, but like this though, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You won't be able to like perfect it and match it exactly how
there's
it's
no
done.
way.
Same with the engines. The Z2 engines, you will never get a hand on them. So,
Oh, this is really an early one. Like you said, 2,900,
yeah.
2,931. So then, and then the engine itself,
2.8 liter.
2.8 liter,
from Nismo.
but you couldn't.
You can't buy those engines anymore.
The crazy thing is there's just so many more crazy GTRs in the world. But for this to basically change the game, I mean, all of this stuff, everybody's like, oh, I got Z-Tune this, Z-Tune that. Well, that's off of this. Like it started here, you know?
So little differences such as these don't run rear diffusers.
Oh.
It actually might be worth sticking the camera on the ground and having a look under it.
Yeah, why is it that they don't have rear diffusers though?
Am I correct in saying that it's got no? Yep.
Yeah. Maybe it's a thing where it's like,
So
Oh, 'cause of
I'll
the
look at your
coolers?
camera and
maybe it's the coolers.
Yeah.
That,
So they have a full cooling setup in the rear end of them underneath,
yeah.
which sets them apart.
That exhaust too.
Exhaust. So the suspension's different. The LMs on it as well, instead of being plus 15, which is usually the offset for all the LMs, these
Yeah.
are plus 5.
Oh.
So they're specific to this car, and that's because the fenders are 15 mil wider than the standard fenders. So
Got it.
Brakes are different.
It's crazy because it just passes shotgun with this
Yeah.
being wider.
Have we got spacers on it too? Sometimes we put spacers on. I think.
Yeah,
like
I think a little
5 mil.
bit, tiny little bit,
Yep.
like 2 mil, but huge Brembo brakes.
The one
If-
thing that I would love to know about these tunes is the interiors. Obviously, they've been redone in Alcantara with the steering wheel in the center of the seats.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, ours is black and red. I'm real curious as to whether there was another option, whether you could get black and grey or full black and stuff like that. It's really hard to get information on these cars.
What's also weird is the wheel. I've never seen, I think they probably had to use that wheel for it being a 2005 car,
Yeah.
you know? Because that doesn't look like the original 99 wheel at all.
The center pad's a little bit different, isn't it?
The center pad is a Nissan hamburger veg versus the GTR
Slightly
logo.
updated.
That's so interesting. It's cool to be able to see one and just like spend time and just like look at it and kind of enjoy.
Admire it and gore
Yeah,
it.
admire it for what it is.
So there is one in Sydney. I have a feeling there's about 5 or 6 in Japan still. Where one, there possibly is another private owned one. Don't hold my word to this, but possibly another private owned one, and then all the others are a Mori factory. So
Well, possibly the other one I've seen is Mr. Moroi has
Yep.
it.
I'll turn the camera off later and I'll
Okay,
ask you
yeah.
where he is, because I know where one is. but-
Right. So then maybe it's three
Possibly.
privately owned ones.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody knows.
Right.
They're very, very kept quiet, and fair enough, because it could be a $5 million car, it could be a $4 million car, it could be a $2 million car. They're not being sold, so there's no understanding what they're really worth. I mean, there's obviously people out there that are putting offers out.
You know, the craziest thing to me is last time I was here in Japan, I went to Daikoku and somebody just pulled up in there
In a 400.
in a 400R and just went to get coffee. And we're like, hold up, bro. Do you know how much this car's worth?
Yeah.
And legitimately, he was like 350, 300.
Yeah.
And we're like, no.
It was on the news a couple of months ago about one going through and the value that it did go through, and then a couple of weeks after that, another car come through.
Can we take a look at this then?
Sure.
So this may be the lowest mile one.
Possibly, yeah. Possibly, yeah. So there's been 3 through the auctions this year.
What was the one that sold for the most?
That was the auction breaker, as everybody calls it, where the auction bidding figure stopped and people were still bidding, but they couldn't put the bid down because the counting system couldn't take the number.
Whoa.
So-
it wasn't, the system
The
wasn't
system
built.
goes up to 99 million yen. Which is a 9,900 man is 99 million yen. It stops there because that's how many zeros? Like,
Yeah.
whoever would have thought that in Japanese, ichioku, which is $1 million US,
Yeah.
a car was going to go through the auctions at that value.
Yeah. An auction. I mean, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the 2000 GT was probably
Yep.
the one that held
Possibly could have
the
done it.
longest record for most expensive car
Yep.
from Japan. But obviously it's blown away by this car.
But it isn't amazing. Like, this was the dark horse for so long. Nobody really sort of showed much interest to this car simply because it was, 33s in general.
Yeah.
Everyone's 32, everyone's
Right.
34.
Right.
Poor old 33s, they're the boats, as everybody sort of jokes about,
Yeah. Jeez.
trying to sort of strategically place the covers.
This thing is just so clean.
There was a bit of a joke, that event that we did a couple of months ago when we were driving down to the truck. I was like, I'm the only person in this company that's hit third gear in this car. Shut up.
This is super cool. So this is 22.
Possibly the last. Possibly the last one ever.
Both are significant.
Possibly.
This one's number 2, and this one's number 22. It makes me wonder if Nissan has one.
400R.
No, the
Z.
yeah.
It'd have to. It'd have to.
This might be the this first one in public hands. Yeah, this thing is so cool. I've been lucky to be able to drive one. The one that Top Rank actually sold.
Yep.
What an incredible car. Like they're just so cool in every way. Look at that. RBX GT2 2.8 liter. Amazing. Just so cool. What blows me away is how clean the interior is on this.
Yeah.
Still has the plastic wrapping,
Yep.
or I don't know if you guys put that on afterwards.
Blue, that's probably most likely us so that we don't scuff it up when
Yeah.
we load it onto the truck.
But the seats are so clean. Look at these next to each other, like, wow. $400R. So, do you guys display these together then when they
Yeah.
go to shows?
Yeah, so Nismo Fest and our festival, these always go. And we did an event a couple of months ago, and like, it's pretty funny. I'm guessing a YouTuber of some sort of guy who's cruising along with his partner, lived like based in Japan. And he's like cruising along, he's just going, oh, Global Auto and the 400Z tune again. And just kept cruising. And I sort of said to him, I was like, what else do you display? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like you can't get better than that. And he went, oh, like, oops, oh, they're really cool. So
that is something else. So cool.
they're very, very stressful. You put them on the back of the truck, you're constantly worried about what other cars are kicking up stones, what other cars are, you know, possibly going to run a red light.
Yeah, because you don't have really enclosed trailers.
Not for two cars, no. So it'd be nice to be able to get something like that.
Are you able to cover them, or is that not legal?
Our truck's all open. You can cover them whilst they're on the truck, 100%.
Yeah.
But because they're two-loader, the
Yeah.
top one, the cover would get ripped off in a
Got it.
heartbeat. So they're just on
Can
the
we-
truck they go.
Can we take a look at the N1 here?
I don't know if I can get in to get it. This is literally just completely bog stock.
Oh, yeah, but this is the desirable one. If you were to buy an N1,
So N1 has the full carbon.
yeah, and the rear windscreen wiper delete,
Yep.
yeah, from the
I
factory.
don't think I can get in to get
That's
it.
okay. That's okay. I just want to look at the nose.
There's you shot a 32, a 33, and a 34 in Sydney, yeah?
Yeah.
That's
Sydney,
so cool.
Yeah. Well, it was actually 32, 33, 34, plus another 34,
Yeah.
and 2 more 32s, I think. Yeah. But it was crazy. It was a lot.
So
Yeah. It was the biggest N1 collection.
probably in the world, yeah.
Probably.
So
Yeah. I just didn't really understand the significance of them until now. Now
Yeah.
I know how special it is and how cool it is. But what a lineup right here.
I always forget about this car, honestly. Like you come in and you're like 400R Z tune, and then you know, for whoever's here with us, they'll be like, so what's this one? Oh, that's actually an N1. Like, what?
Yeah.
You kind of zone in on those two, but my favorite car is this one. I'll
Right.
show you that in a second.
Let's take a look at these two.
Have a look at it.
Yeah.
I'll just pull this color, maybe. The 33 N1 is not. The most recent NER that he's purchased is not for sale. This is an M-Spec NER, which has 14,000 kilometers.
Whoa.
And we're sort of like, what do we do with it? do we sell it? Do we keep it? Because it's a car that you'll never ever see again. So
Wow.
I love this car. This car is
This is beautiful.
this is a GTR.
Yeah.
This is a GTR.
So out of all these, you would probably drive this one every day, huh?
If I could, I would.
This is really cool.
So that's a Kansai service built 2.8 litre,
No way.
40,000 kilometre body. I think 5 or 8,000 kilometre after build.
Can I move this?
Sure.
Jeez. The paint is perfect. It is so good. Just so cool.
This car. The boss was like, oh yeah, what have you got? And Kansai service, 2.8 litre, VCAM. The boss got straight on the train. Straight to this guy. So,
Wow.
V-Spec tuner, Millennium Jade. It was on bronze rays RE30s and it looked amazing because it was 18 by 10 and a halves with like a chunky sticky tire on them. And it just looked like a car that was to go driving, like.
Yeah. I love that.
It's a
This is just so cool.
really cool car.
So this one's not for sale.
Nope.
This is the boss's personal play toy. Does he get to drive his cars that often?
I try to get him to.
You have to get him to?
I try to get him to. Not really. Not as much as probably he used to.
That's too bad.
So, yeah.
So next time I come down, I can help him drive his cars if he wants.
Let's do a night shoot in Nunko with all the shipping containers. That would be amazing.
I'm down. It's a date.
So,
So cool. Can I take a look at the Haka?
sure.
Let's leave this up so I can get a shot of both of them together.
I'm going to have to try and remember what we've opened and closed and stuff like that.
I'll help you remember. Don't worry. This is so cool. What a great example of one of these. Look at that.
It is refurbished.
Are you kidding me?
It's been refurbished top to
Look at
bottom.
this thing. It has air conditioning?
Yep.
That's crazy. What a nice car. I just can't believe this. It's too bad the owner's camera shy.
Camera shy and yeah, probably because he just doesn't like talking. He's done a couple of like option videos and stuff like that. But yeah, he's pretty shy.
That's too bad.
We've got a couple of sets of LMGT4s, a couple of sets of brand new T37s, bumpers, fenders, seats. So we're running pretty low at the moment, to be honest with you.
But these are all brand new Nismo carbon fiber hoods.
Yep. So that's the only ones we've got left.
Amazing.
So that's for customers that buy a 34 GDR, and if they turn around and say, hey, look, I want the bonnet,
Yeah.
we've got it ready to go, and we'll either paint match it or go with the clear
cool.
coat for the engine with Hollinger gearbox, carbon
No
fiber
way.
doors, roof, bonnet, fenders, trunk. It has gnarly suspension, gnarly brakes.
Oh, this one is for sale.
This is not online for sale. but it's for sale if somebody does contact us. It's a hard car to sell.
Yeah, you'd have
It's
to
a very,
like,
very special car in the sense of, you know, like we're sort of saying like everybody in Japan had a chance to appreciate these cars. A shop has gone and built one of the rarest GTRs into a race car. Why you would do
carbon roof too.
that? Carbon roof. Oh. It's gnarly. I'll grab the keys. So that was 7. That's 8, 9, 10. They're a kind of like a knockoff of, not a knockoff, but like a glorified R32 GTR.
Yeah, it has the centers.
Yeah, they're kind of cool, right?
That's super cool. It's like you look at it, you can't quite put your finger on it, but I never understood what that meant. We produce with Spartan Air. I still have no idea what it means.
They're really, really bizarre.
Look at that.
It's amazing what happened in the early 2000s in cars that were built. So, cockpit demo car.
That's super cool.
Nismo, what series is it? R1 engine.
That's awesome.
It's such a bizarre car. I think the guys took this to Nismo Festival last year, or I was meeting one of the ones. They took this car and put a big for sale board on it. Yeah, a lot of people when they're buying GDRs, they want to buy. It's just a bizarre car.
Look at that steering wheel.
If you know the right people, you can get it done.
Even has Lexan windows. So carbon doors, Lexan windows, still has the highway toll reader, ETC card reader. Full on race car, full cage. Ridiculous.
A refurbished 2.6 litre.
That is so cool.
So that one is for sale on our site.
How much is this
Everybody goes straight to the fact that, oh, it's M-Spec. And it's not an M-Spec nurse, so it's not eligible for import now. So it's later model car, 2001 or 2.
How much is this one?
This is low 20s. I think around the 22 mark, so not too bad.
That's a good deal. But it's a late model.
Late model, yeah.
All right.
Nismo fine spec engine, and then not absurd kilometers. So it's really funny. We had another 34 in earlier this year with the same engine. It had 250,000 kilometers on the body, had an Omori refreshed engine and suspension package done to it. So it was essentially a brand new chassis. And because I had 250,000 kilometers, everybody just went, ooh, Bayside Blue Nismo engine, 250,000 kilometers, see you later. They didn't want anything to do with the car, so.
Yeah. Couldn't sell it.
It was a while, and then we ended up finding, someone did, show interest in it, and it was somebody that wanted to drive a car. Like they were buying a 34 GTR, they wanted to drive it, so they were like, you know what? It's in pristine condition, there's not a lick of rust on it, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's what I want to do, so.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to support us directly, go to LarryChenPrints.com. I print and sign every single one of these. This is the perfect gift, or it's the perfect piece of art for your wall.